Today we want to look at the Rollbar MCP server and how you can start to utilize this MCP server with tools like Cursor, VS Code that provide things like Copilot or Claude to help you interact with Rollbar data from your project with some of the AI tooling that you have today. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and get the Rollbar MCP server by downloading that to our local machines. In my case, I've gone ahead and I downloaded the MCP server. You can go ahead and do the npm run build. And what this will do is make sure to get it going, and you can see it compiled successfully and it is now ready for me to use it. Now, once we have that set up and ready to go, we will need what's called a project access token from Rollbar. So you can go ahead and pick the project that you want to utilize, and we need to go ahead and create the MCP token. And we just need the read scope because we're going to go ahead and read data from Rollbar. And we can go ahead and hit the create button, and that'll create the token for us. And once we have that token, we go ahead and in the mcp.json file, we'll go ahead and paste that token right in there. Now, the mcp.json file is specific to VS Code and does differ depending on the tooling you use. So, for example, if you use Claude, it's .mcp.json. And for VS Code, it's inside the .vs code /mcp.json file. And again, it's slightly different depending on if you're using other tools. But the concept remains the same. Inside of either MCP servers and Claude or VS Code, its servers, you can go ahead and copy in that Rollbar config, which we've done over here. Now remember, we have done the npm run build, so that server is running. We can go ahead and press the start button. Now the server is active and running. If there was a failure or problem in the output window below, you would have seen all the errors, and you can quickly then go ahead and debug those as well. Now I've got Copilot open and ready to go. One important aspect, of course, is at the bottom right, need to make sure that we modify and move this, that it is into the agent mode. So we want to go ahead and we're going to interact with the Rollbar MCP as an agent. Now, one of the first things you may want to do is just understand what are the top things happening right now in a specific project or environment. So get the top errors happening right now in production. And I'm using the word production because Rollbar allows me to report data from different environments, and I'm really interested in all the errors happening in production right now, and also return the counter. So the counter I need because that's an item ID that I'll utilize a bit later on. What this will go ahead and do is it'll ask Rollbar's MCP server to go ahead and get the top items that are happening right now, in this case the top 10. And there you can see quite a few items. A lot of them seem to be related to SSL problems. So I'm going to take, for example, the second one over here, and let's diagnose this one. So diagnose issue 1016. Explain the root cause and suggest a fix. So now I'm going to ask the system to go ahead and get that data, and it'll actually connect to the Rollbar server and get all the detailed information from Rollbar, including all the rich data that is included in the payload. And there you can see it's already connected there and returning what the problem was. In this case, it is an SSL exception, so some certificate might be expiring. It detected that the backend code is indeed running .NET, and it's already suggested a couple of both code fixes, but also in this case, really the certificate has expired or is indeed bad. But it allows me to get a better understanding of that issue. Again, if I wanted to, I can now ask the AI agent to go ahead and make the code fix and create a pull request for me so I can review it and make sure it is indeed accurate. This is just one of the ways that you could use the Rollbar MCP to start to increase your velocity for looking at items, diagnosing the root cause by using that rich data you've got in Rollbar. So to give you an example of that rich data, here you can see the actual item in Rollbar. We can see that it started happening in the last couple of months over here, and we had a bit more of a spike in the last day or so. But below you can see the exact or stack trace, all the frames. And if I scroll down a bit, you will see all the additional data that was sent in about this item. Again, this makes it very, very easy for the AI agent to utilize this data to now interact with Rollbar and indeed your code base to help suggest fixes. We hope you want to start using this MCP server to explore ways that you can use this data in your day-to-day work when interacting with your code base, as well as those errors and useful data that you see in Rollbar.